Hey there, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube. Before the video starts, I want to let you know that if you like it, to leave a like and a comment down below. And while you're at it, subscribe to the channel and click the little bell icon to be up to date with my latest content, as well as joining the Notification Squad or Wolfification Squad like this pack legend here. Thanks for your support, and enjoy the video. Starve or Curse. Feed the Soul. Chapter 13.
Releasing.
Whilst the ongoing blizzard swallowed up the North Woods, in the midst of the vast bitter rime, the Wendigo was wolfing down a fourth feeding session within the warm haven of the snow-capped cave dwelling. And in the usual safety zone of several meters away, the abode's proprietor patiently observed the reveling, binging beast. Even without hauling a full-to-the-brim 5-gallon bucket, Summer's body felt like she was carrying dead weight. So she gingerly shadowed herself along the cellar's right wall to retrieve the folding lounge chair, and was now stiffly reclining. Summer had elected to remain where she was. She wasn't sure if it was a hunch, or she was simply dreading another flight up those hated stairs. The worn-out woman swore the bones in her long legs had condensed into heavy lead. As the beast gashed away, Summer mulled if he could possibly want a fifth helping. After all, this spent meal adds another 100-somewhat pounds to his night of gluttony. With a shake of the head, the woman marveled at the second eye-opener. Over 400 fucking pounds. But even if it was unearthly possible for Ben to request another for more, the widespread storage freezer was half full, which made Summer praise God himself that she was so well prepared. Because not only had it been Hades on ice for her to get through the lightning blizzard, but no way on Posy's 9 lives would she ever leave her home and let the precious Loki bastard to his own devices. Because, heaven forbid, if he were to ever get free before her plan came to fruition. Summer jerked her head when Ben's heavy metallic restraints rattled out her thoughts. And with a loud grunt, he brusquely reverted to resting on his black haunches with an elongated muzzle still chomping on the half-eaten contents. Evidently, the overindulging beast's growing girth was simply too much for him to support any longer. Within a short time, his incessant eating neared the bottom of the bucket. Ben used his large hands to scoop out a bit more, and then proceeded to lick them spotless. Once there wasn't an ounce of sauce left on a single talon, he pushed the pail to his right, as he had done with the others. Amber orbs gawked in utmost absolute astonishment. Holy Mary, mother-to-be! The amazed woman stood up and lifted light eyebrows that could have reached her sandy blonde scalp. How in the hell did Ben's belly not blow up? The majority of his swollen stomach was pressed into the concrete. Summer suspected that even without the shackles, he wouldn't be able to stand upright, let alone walk quadrupedal. The massive round abdomen was at least a meter in diameter. All around. Summer blinked disbelievingly at his navel. Ben's gut is so fat, I'm shocked his innie didn't pop out into a fucking Audi. The beast exposed his maw wide. Summer grimaced for a roar. However, in its place was a lengthy, throaty bellow of hot air. She recognized that sound. It was absolutely clear as a bell. The Wendigo had belched. Oh, that's new, thought the squinting woman, waving off the vinegary vapor from her direction. Akin to her cat after a meal, Ben partially lowered himself while outstretching his reedy arms as much as his binds permitted. Licking rows of enamel razors, he gracelessly flopped on his left side, enfolding his lower torso's enormous circumference.
Mine.
The beast's gruff voice was a drawled slur. Summer figured it was his sated stomach that he was referring to. Still wary, yet feeling bolder, she delicately took small steps and stood on her toes, leaning forward to peer in the latest bucket. She found a quarter of the lasagna still lingering. This elicited another smile to grace her full lips. My baby's hunger pains was stopped. Ah! The gasping woman was startled from Ben's guttural enunciation that ended with his spine-chilling shriek. She batted a hand over her coat-covered chest. Nope. She still would not get used to the wrathful wails of a Wendigo. A half-lidded eye was scrutinizing her. Instantly, Summer took a huge pace back, regardless of being out of reach. She wanted to be sure to keep her life, to see this through. The beast didn't move, except for the one dark red pupil taking a glance at his positive remnant cylinder. He looked up at his resolute prey and growled, topping it off with a snort. Despite her recent fright and the dangerously low snarls, Summer huffed. She swirled her own vision from his incentive of her not being a threat, or for her to be stupid enough to repossess the pail. Smart-ass Wendigo. Not wishing to mess with his teachy temperament, she retraced the rest of her movements until she was next to the patio lounger. The beast was rubbing his engorged abdomen. Summer gestured a partially covered hand to the pail, then to him. Yes. Yours. And after a slow blink, Ben's hazy single eye fully slid shut. Finally, after 10 seasons of incessant torment, the appetite of the Wendigo of Normandy Village was appeased.
The Rubicon-shaded vision of the creature relaxed underneath dark, heavy lids. It did not require to reopen them, for it knew exactly where it was. The beast was in successful territory. Its internal clock told it that it had seen many moons and had been on many hunts during its subsistence. Although the beast was resilient and adaptable, its preceding survival was insufferable. The creature disliked being hungry, disliked the cold, disliked using the coldness to hunt, disliked the kills that made it sick, disliked the precise prey that carried the shiny sticks of hot stings. And most of all, the creature despised the consumed correct catch made of bad meat that had hurt its insides with the invisible shearing pain. But presently, the beast was where it should have been all along. The strangely warm cave had ameliorated the shivers when no prey was around to see its weakness, and the extreme emptiness was completely filled with the surfeit of very good meat contained in the massive roundness of the creature. The claws of the creature cradled its pudgy, sated stomach with a calm euphoria. The feeds were long and heavy and very luscious. But that last good feed was glorious. It was unknown to it of why the particular last good meat was, and why it tasted familiar when the beast had never caught quarry that was so savory amid its canines. However, the creature did not care, nor had the comprehension to dwell on it. What was in its interest was its current existence. Because now, the creature was no longer surviving. It was thriving. The resolute prey that barks out the peculiar, yet familiar, same sound to it over and over, was involved in the flourished feeding. Also, the quarry had kept the beast away from mortality. For when the bone of previous meals had stopped the air from coming into it, the creature awoken to find the bone had been taken away, and its pitch-black muzzle was covered in the scent of the quarry. Thus, after that, the hind side of the creature started to prevent it from predating on the resolute prey. When the prey returned to the den with the glorious good meat, the resting creature was very much conscious. Nevertheless, it remained in a composed position, with closed sights, in order for the resolute prey to bring the glorious good meat to it without deferment. Furthermore, the beast avoided consuming the furry young of its resolute prey. The young did not smell like its maternal quarry, and that kill might have made it ill. And after the furry young invaded the terrain of the creature, igniting burning anger when it tried to take the big cache of cold, good meat and the round holder of warmed fare, the reaction of the resolute prey had almost matched its own fury. The clever creature concluded that both of its quarry were protective of each other, but its existence was also being protected. Hence, the guile beast was allowing them to live, so the resolute prey would continue its killed provisions. On the other claw, threatening them off would be obligatory if attempts were made to take any of its fresh fodder. The sharp jawline of the lolling creature were lapped from the recent memory of its grand gourmandizing, with hands still sprawling over its colossally stuffed stomach. Its soothed throat resounded in a contented croon. It felt so good to be overfilled with the very good meat. The tracking instincts of the creature alerted it that there were alluring scents coming from the above, sealed hole of the strange cave, and its primal olfactory had articulated that the resolute prey must be made of the very good meat as well. The hard, shiny vines restraining it will wither, and after everything is consumed, the creature will then take the resolute prey all for itself. The beast rumbled in reverie. The sweet-smelling, dried essence from the wounds of its quarry told it that the soft flesh would make a splendid, succulent feed. But presently, and entirely different for the cosseted creature, it did not crave to eat. It did not want to eat. It wanted freedom. In spite of the aspiration to be free, the need to sleep was overwhelming for the substantially weighty beast. Slumbering was once tiresome and hard. Ice and famine ate away at its harsh awareness and insides, and it could only lose consciousness when exertion took over. Now, with such warmth and mass fullness, slumber beckoned to the somnolent creature, craning a furrowed neck towards the small, non-moving sun. The large maw of the creature exposed freely as a lengthy tongue alongside a long, gruff respire. And, with a brief trace of sharp talons over fettered, thin wrists, the dozing beast lay down its head and its cognizance. A cognizance which was well aware that its time for release from containment was imminent.
With a slight cant of the head, the woman observed the chest of the quiet Wendigo slowly expand and descend, her eyebrows knitting in discernment. Is Ben really sound asleep? Shit! Summer shrieked sharply, falling to her knees from a strong gale force whistling over her entire body. The woman's core was beyond freezing as she clamped her arms to her chest, with tightened hands hooked into the shoulders of her coat. Oh my God, stop! Needless to say, the frigidness was utterly unbearable for the Summer-born woman. Screaming as much as her frost-filling lungs could expel, Summer desperately tried to glimpse with teary perception, but it was futile from her wind-blown hair flogging her white-sheeted face. Then, everything silently blacked out. The air became motionless once more. With quickened, unseen cloudy breath, Summer brushed away messy long bangs, and raked blindly around herself, clambering upon shaky feet. What the fuck's going on? Outside, a brash knock resounded, and the fluorescent hooded lamp and the space heater recommenced their duties. The power generator had switched on. After the woman's eyes reclaimed their vision, she instinctively jerked her head toward the center of the unfinished floor. Holding heaving breasts, Summer exhaled with relief when she found the Wendigo in the exact position. It didn't take long for the heavy-duty portable heater to re-warm the room, but after the woman had gotten back her bearings, she quietly stepped to the top left corner and shoved the digital thermostat's button to 80 toasty degrees. Holy shit! The woman had never been so cold in her 32 years on this hitherto green earth. But yet, she didn't shudder. Normally, she would have found that odd. But right now, what just occurred was way far off the mark of being normal. Summer scanned the basement. It only had one sealed, opaque window, which was boarded up and crucified with nails. And the closed storm doors were also fastened with multiple sturdy latches. So how in the unholy hell did the winter waft get in? And why didn't her freak-out awaken Ben? When the mauling woman started to discern his quietness, her face gaped. Ben's chest was not retracting. Baby? With shimmering sights, Summer rushed to the center of the cellar, jumping on poor, abused, bruised knees. Again, she wholly forgo any self-preservation. All she cared about was him. Only him. As the woman frenziedly searched for any sign of a pulse, her insight blew in, just as hard as that sub-zero wind chill. The abrupt chilliness wasn't a draft from the storm. It was the spirit leaving Ben's body. Was it true that the only way to stop the curse was to kill the host? Was all of this insane damned decade of planning just some insane damned fool's errand? Ben? Benny? Baby? Wake up! Shouted Summer between snivels and stammered catches in her windpipe as she shook him. Wake up, Benny! Please! Don't go! I never had... With a gruff gasp, the beast's muzzle snapped apart with rapid intakes of oxygen. Blinking quickly, while freeing a clutched hand from her mouth, Summer was able to breathe correctly. Dear, loving Joseph, my heart can't take any more of these damn death scares. Ben's jaws closed as his breathing slowly decreased to steady inhalations. He appeared to be in heavy sleep. Summer gently placed a hand near his bony shoulder. His taut, pale skin was a little warmer. She deliberated if she should release him from the heavy-ass chains, but promptly decided against it. No, not yet. Not wanting to interrupt, nor test Ben's sleep, the woman straightened up, quietly ambled to the old love seat with the tattered sheet that she used to shift a temporary bandage, and pulled the thin blanket free. She was glad that her powerful police stun gun didn't sizzle the small couch. A dreamy smirk arose from her soft features. It'd been a pain for Summer with getting the gaudy green and purple polka dot thing from Delaware to Upper Minnesota, but it was the first piece of furniture they had bought together from their condo as a married couple. Ben was so proud with picking it out. Summer laughed inside from how he always had said the fun colors made the parlor pop. She shook the blanket to remove the lines of the used taser cartridge and any missed traces of dust, then returned to her beloved side, covering the center of his large, well-fed torso. Wendigos were wintry cryptids, and Ben had enjoyed hiking in brisk winter, but the man always preferred to be warm whenever he slept. After a few minutes of inaudibly viewing, the woman dragged her periwinkle slippers to the unfolded lounge chair and moved it a tad nearer to her sleeping significant other. Still out of reach, but nonetheless, still closer. Then, Summer lay herself down. She knew that she should really remain standing. However, her faltering, heavy legs protested otherwise. With drowsy sights staying on the big, peaceful form, the woman felt her conscience ebb away, while shifting her head to the patio lounger's soft plastic lining. With fluttering eyelids, Summer jolted her half-asleep body and tripped onto the rough floor. With a low groan, she squinted downwards at her sore, splayed legs to find her ankles tangled in the old sheet. Getting onto freed feet, Summer started ahead, and instantly the gawping woman's pupils expanded as a throbbing tempo of alarm scaled within her dry throat. Benny? Summer was the only current occupant in the basement.